Hello, namaste, and welcome to my channel. I am your host Nakesh Deshpande. Today we are recording a new episode on which we are going to discuss how can I demonstrate agile maturity during the interview or while doing my job. To discuss on this topic, we have a new speaker, Dr. Ramkumari Iyer. She is a certified lead auditor. She is a SRE practitioner, Lean Six Sigma certified, and she holds more than 22 years of experience in the industry. So, to share her experience, to share her views on this topic, let's welcome Dr. Ramkumari. Hello, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you so much, Deshpande, for including me in this kind of an episode.
Thank you. You can just call me Nagesh. I'm okay with that. So, being you are very senior, very respected, I will call you Dr. Ramkumari. Okay. How was your day so far?
Day was quite good. I had some meetings, so I just wanted to push it a little later. So it was quite interesting. Yeah.
Nice. And which part of India you are from? Which
I'm
city?
from Bangalore.
Oh, nice. Nice, nice.
I'm basically from Tamil Nadu, but
Okay.
settled in Bangalore for the last at least 18 years.
Nice, nice, nice. I was in Bangalore for 3 years. I From then I moved to Pune. Now I'm settled in Pune. Okay, and this is one of my passions. So to my viewers, we record every weekends, and there is a new episode on every Monday. So subscribe to my channel. Watch this episode till the end. This will help you how to build more agile maturity or more maturity during the interviews. Uh, shall we start with the discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the first thing is like, why do interviewers doubt agile maturity despite of certifications?
See, what I understand from the certifications, I also have a lot of certifications, but certifications really make you an SME in that particular subject. It's a lot of contextual and the theory based, which you
Right.
try to understand. But it is really important that people have to be very matured enough to demonstrate the practical experience. See, there are a lot many principles and practices and processes which normally a certificate will tell you, teach you. People from the agile practice tell that I am Scrum, I follow the Scrum, we follow the Scrum. So, are you really following it? So then it means that whatever the kind of a failures, whatever you have encompassed during the kind of journey, it's very important that you normally go ahead and tell with a kind of a real practical examples, right?
Mm.
So it's not about so that is where I could also see that some of the interviewers when I do the interview, I feel that people have the theory knowledge, but they work in some kind of a scrum teams, but they are unable to explain the things in a better way. What kind of a failures came in, how the customers have come into the different kind of a changes, and how they replan the entire structure. So this is very very important from the typical real time scenario perspective, because each and every environment, every project is very different. And
I agree.
second thing is using the concept, putting customizing it to the environment is very important, and that is what the interviewer normally think about it. And we normally see that if that is not coming across, then I think this person is having a certification, some knowledge, but not having a real time explosion. That's the reason
Absolutely.
it fails.
Absolutely, yes. See, you have to show um, in your interview that how did you learn from your failures? You are
Correct.
always not winning.
Correct.
Even if you have tons of certifications and even if you have 10 years of experience, but you're always showing that you have winning, that is going to create a doubt in the person's mind, interviewer's mind. You have to show that this situation I failed, what I learned from that situation, how I have corrected my mistakes, and when the similar situation occurred, how I used that experience and behaved very differently in that situation.
Correct.
That's how the maturity will come into the visibility of your work, not just in the interview, at work also.
To add to this point, I wanted to tell you something. So, people normally during the interview, they wanted to really project us a
Yes,
positive outcome every time. But
yes,
that is really good. But of course, see, today's scenario, there are a lot of failures which happens, right?
right,
Rather than the positive outcomes. So, it also takes that, are you a risk taker? Are you doing an experimentation? Do you also have a innovative thinking? Do you have a design thinking thought process from the start to the end? uh, uh, if something comes in between, are you in a position to mitigate that kind of a stuff? That is very important for you to really establish. So failure is not anything wrong. Failure is a part of learning today. See, that is from the agile principle which was started in 2001. So now I think we all know that we are in the DevOps philosophy world. So where not only from the agile or application perspective, we are also including the entire infrastructure, your security, which is very important today because that really makes you to uh, rule across, optimize the things in a better way, quickly move across, and then meet the kind of an expectations in the market space, right? So,
right.
so learning, failure is a part of the learning. That's what we wanted to really think. Do experimentation, do risk taking, and see that whatever you learn across, put the lessons learned and put the best practices and come across. That's very important, which is being failed by a lot of interview takers today.
Um, See, people, like just you mentioned that people are they're just want to answer lot of things. I also mentioned that they only want to answer the positive things. But what are the some of the answers that typically people give, which shows the lack of agile experience?
So they tell that, okay, so they think that Agile can fix everything.
Yeah.
Agile is a kind of a framework.
Hmm.
How you use this kind of a framework, how what it can be fit in into the particular environment, it matters a lot. How you are bringing this as an integrated perspective into other frameworks, other environment, and other things matters a lot for the people. So that is what you have to really bring in. So it's like agile maturity is always judged by their outcomes, right? In
Right.
terms of continuous improvement, how you change the culture perspective, what are the feedback loops. Continuous feedback is very important so that you take it and you're not passing the faults to the upper streams. Stable, high value delivery. So, if something is not delivering a value during the entire value chain, I think you should be in a better position to mitigate that and see that maybe I should drop it. I should go into a different kind of an option. This is very important. If this is not being done across, then I feel that I think this guys doesn't have any kind of a maturity in terms of real-time complex project experimentation, but just telling something on the
Yeah.
theory basis. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe just doing the execution is not,
So normally they
bringing it
talk a
into
lot
the
of vocabularies what they learned.
right.
Those vocabularies has to be used in your typical environment and try to make it as a kind of a practical stuff scenario and see that these are the successes, these are the metrics, this is how the outcome has come. Some of the changes which has come in by the customer and how do I replant. So these are very, very important in terms of how do you show the kind of a maturity levels. So that's very important.
Uh, Great. So now, tell me, there are agile leaders like you. There are a lot of people. How do you, understand, or how do you realize that this person has a maturity?
So one thing is, of course, when somebody talks about introduces themselves, okay, so we listen to that. Then we put some kind of use case scenario, try to understand that, create some kind of an uncertainty situation, some change related things, and see that how that person really reacts to that. So if a person has actively involved in some kind of a project and demonstrated some of this kind of a principles and practices in the real time scenario rather than the theory perspective, we really know that this plan is not fixed. Change is there, and I have gone through the changes, and I have really made some kind of alterations to the kind of a changes. how you lead the teams and the stakeholders is very important, because
Right.
Agile is not about one person individually. It is all about the stakeholder management. So everybody you have to, are you considering all the people, take the necessary feedback? It's not just telling the kind of vocabulary as a feedback mechanism. It's about how you're incorporating it and taking it through. And giving the autonomy to the people, the freedom to the people is very important. It's not a micromanagement at all.
Right.
So if somebody with the thought process, with the answers itself, we know that this person is bureaucratic or this person is very transparent with all the people, and they will be able to do that with work as a team, right? Then another thing is, you should not make people to really feel unsecured. There should be
Correct.
a psychological safety. That is one of the key principles from this agile methodology. How are you giving it? As a leader, I will to make sure my teams. I think you can go ahead and ask any questions, and it's don't go with any assumptions, because having an assumptions and that will lead to a lot of constraints and bottlenecks. See. Leaders are the people who break the constraints over a period of time, but managers, they try to manage the situation. The manage the situation will not give you a right outcome. Breaking the things and moving across, driving to the kind of challenges is very important. And that are the couple of things which really you can figure it out, that this person has gone through some kind of a challenge and was able to explain you what kind of a situation. Then you can take them and put it in as a kind of a coach or whoever it is, as a leader, or who can manage the entire team, so that you are very good, you're particular that okay, this person can handle this stuff. Because agile coach or managing the agile team is not very simple, right?
Agree.
It's really about we know that it's about people, process, technology partners, but we know that process can be fixed, technology can be put across, people cannot change. So
Absolutely
it
right.
takes a lot of time. So that's where the
Mm.
culture has to be built across, right? It has to flow from the top to bottom. If this are certain things which somebody is able to explain through some kind of use case scenario and tell you, then you know that I think it's a practical situation, and that's how you can tell that okay, I'll hire this person.
Right. Can you also give some of the wrong answers what people normally give in the interview, which shows that they do not have
Okay,
that.
I have a plan. A PO has not come in. A project plan not executed. We work in scrums. Okay. After that scrums, what is the kind of a measurement? Do you have the backlogs? So typically people doesn't understand about it. Maybe they have some
Mm.
kind of theory knowledge. They don't know how to correlate the things, and not able to put across. Then they tell that okay, we follow changes. What
Right.
we follow changes? Are you doing it? Are you
Mm.
really into that? And how, what kind of a challenge you have undergone in the kind of a change? Because changes are not very simple and always not lead to a success. Changes also go with a lot of failures, success
Mm.
with issues also. So you should be in
Right.
a better position to uh, exaggerate, explain that kind of a situation. These are certain things which really tells that, okay, I think not a right person for this position. Yeah.
Now, I also want to understand, some of the behavior signals. So, what are the behavior signals shows the real agile maturity at work? One of the things we discussed, psychological safety. Any other things?
It's about how do you give the autonomous to the team, the
Yeah,
freedom to the team. Okay.
right. Absolutely.
Are you very transparent? See, of
Mm.
course, as a leader, I wanted to be very transparent, except some of the financial related things. You have to make your objective very clean. You have to make all the kind of an activities, what kind of a problem statement. If this is all made clean, and then you can expect the outcomes from your people, then it will happen. So this is very important. So and don't go ahead and tell that you follow this kind of a framework and do it. I think give the kind of enough freedom for them. They can
Right.
be anything else, but ultimately your thing is the right outcome, what it gives to the end customer, and to the company, there should be an ROI, and to the end customer, it should be effectiveness, efficiency that has to be done across. If these are a couple of things which is there, then I think it really comes as a kind of a good one. Lot of things we talk about so much focus on rituals, not outcomes. This is it really okay. This particular practice tells about doing this stuff. So many meetings. Do you know that whether these meetings are very important? Is that 12 meetings are needed? Can I consolidate it to five, six, which is very meaningful, and you can derive something action items out of it? And people do meetings, they do some action items, and nobody follows action items to closure.
True.
And that
That's
is
true.
another important thing. Then the flow is not complete. The quality of the service which is going to be provided to the end customer is not complete. The stakeholder loses their confidence on you. So there's a couple of things which are really as a kind of uh, non-maturity kind of an answers which is expected from an interview person. Yeah.
Very nice. You're really putting a lot of emotions in in this discussion
See,
because you've seen it. That's
yeah,
your
yeah.
experience
So
talking.
typically, when I was in IBM and other places, so typically we used to hire some people from the agile perspective. That time it was not typically not coined as DevOps, but
Hmm.
we wanted to create a kind of uh, squad team kind of a thing,
Right,
mix and match. So I feel that sometimes I don't feel the right. They might have some kind of a background, they have skill set, they have worked on something else, but they don't was not able to put it across in a proper manner. Then I don't
right,
know whether I can hire them and put it in my team. And what I don't have so much of time to coach them. Of course, I
right,
will coach, but not an individual thing, because I have to start my project and I have to run it across, right? So
right,
then
right.
makes a lot of difference for me. So many such kind of people you have to really and neglect or reject them. Then you will come up with some three, four at the most at last.
As I already said, you should not just show your success story. You should also share your failure
Yeah.
story. How can confidently someone talk during the interview and share their failure stories?
So today, this see, if you are talking about success, it's very good. But really, if everything is going to be a success, you have a lot of challenges. Because you don't consider five people or six people. You have to talk to multiple other teams also who is going to be support. For example, when you are doing a kind of an agile project, of course you need to have the support from the recruitment, right?
Right,
Teams has to be there. You need to, after you develop this kind of a product and put it across, you need to have a right marketing person to do this, to go to the customer, right? Business development person. I need to have some labs to be set up. So finance person needs to be convinced why I need this. So if this people, you're not able to convince properly about your outcome, what you are expecting it, what you expect as a help from other people, then I think nobody is going to help you out in a proper way, and your project will not go into a success. So this is very so. So you undergo so many challenges. People, just like that in the first initial meeting, people don't agree to it. Then you have to go with justification, business cases, some facts and figures, explain them. Then talk in their language. Typically, if I am an IT person, if I talk in my technical language, people doesn't understand. So I have to
yeah,
convert into a business risk language. Then the person might be able to understand, translate it, put it in customer shoes, and then that tell that, okay, I understand this, so I buy in for you. So these are a couple of things is very, very important for the success.
nice, very nice. Now, coming on to your last question of the day, what are the
Mhm.
practical examples provide or proves agile thinking in the interview? So let's say you are interviewing someone and someone is showing that kind of thinking. How you are you going to understand? How someone can prove it?
So adapt. There might be changes inevitable in our environment.
Right.
If we start with a project, we go with a project charter, we understand everything, but suddenly something comes up. Are
Hmm.
you in a better position to change your priorities and accordingly mitigate that, right? And Are you able to tell the customer at some point of time, being assertive, telling that no, I will not accept this. So the this particular change, I will be able to do it in the next one. This is some of the practical things. About handling a failed sprint, so how do you are handling it? And I think we talk about a lot of visual boards and other stuff. So do we have so many things in pipeline? How I'm going to prioritize it? What are the dependencies somebody is having it? How I'm going to correlate or mitigate these things? Help each other together. Because that is the kind of a transparency which you have it as a team. Because of course, when there are six traits in project management leadership, but you have to change your hat at different parts of time. So most of the time you have to be working with a team, you have to be very transparent, collaborative, communicative. So all these things has to be there. If somebody is not collaborative and communicative to whatever they have found some kind of issues, then how others will be able to know and help you? This is
Right.
another thing. Then you will not be able to come out of your failures. Then another thing is very important is take the regular feedbacks. So that at least, see, our concept of agile itself is that I don't want to go with, I go with very small phases, right? And then whatever the issues are there, I have to solve it before I go to the next one. So that if that is there, typically the feedbacks is very important to enable the change behavior. This is another important demonstrate. Then are you really going with a cultural perspective? Are you having a idea of having a continuous improvement? Because each and everything is a continuous improvement. Today I know that I have some kind of milestones. I achieved this. Okay, can I lead with this? But I have put some five metrics. There are baseline, and typically I go with this kind of a metrics. But I always go and see that what I will do to improve this kind of a situation more.
Right.
Like 2 days to, can I make it to one day? Can I make it to half a day? Can I make it to 60 minutes? This is kind of a continuous improvement culture, demonstration mindset if you are bringing it. Then another is about the mindset. It's
Mm.
not a static mindset at all. It should be a dynamic growth mindset that will
Growth mindset.
really gel with the changes that comes in. Yeah, so it can go overhead with the kind of a change fatigue, technology depths, all the things, whatever you can see it in the kind of an environment. Then, of course, as a leader, I also have to protect my team. So that
Right.
is about kind of a psychological safety. So these are a couple of the practical related things which is very, very important to demonstrate, typically in a kind of an agile program.
Nice. Great. Wonderful
One,
discussion.
one important stuff I have not added, being a security person, governance and compliance.
Right.
So this
Yeah.
is very, very important from the today. Of course, agile from the security leadership, people try to follow it, but today it has really gone into the next layer of DevOps, DevSecOps, right? So
Def-
without security, security is never an optional henceforth. But still, people tell that it is a checkpoint, and I do it. I don't have that much of time. I don't have budget. So all these things, but now people started listening to it because this matters a lot for the business. So right governance in place. I'm not talking about do a kind of a micro levels, but
Mm.
have a proper governance and maintain the kind of autonomous in the system. Then compliance to certain things, because it is not one compliance. There are many things which comes into it. It's a
Right.
standard compliance, it's a regulatory compliance, it's a region-wise compliance. So there are a couple of things which you have to really bring into the table. So that's a very key point which anybody has to really see that and demonstrate as a practical stuff.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ramkumari. It was
Yeah.
great
Thank you so
pleasure.
much for the opportunity. And it was nice talking to you.
Same here. So
Yeah.
to my audience, if you really like this discussion, there are so many takeaways for your interview. So if you are preparing for the interview, this episode will definitely help you. Take away these points, implement into your interview, not just in the your interview, even while doing your work. So from entire audience of Agile Exploration Hub, I would like to say thank you to Dr. Ramkumari for
Thank you
being
so
such a
much.
wonderful speaker.
Thank you so much.
Thank you and bye bye. See you in the next episode.